guys, my name is Rachel. I was a children's Castle Theater kid and I have since graduated to being a Castle Co-Theater adult. I acted from the ages of 5 to about 15 or 16 back in the day, and now I am on staff. I am one of the stage directors and I do blocking, characterization, and finishing details on all of the scenes. And one of the things that is staying the same this show that we're really excited about is that for Moana Junior this fall and winter, we are back here at the old Farmington High School Little Theater, which is where we used to perform every single one of our shows back in the 90s and early 2000s. It was kind of like coming home again, so it was really fun to get to come back here for the first couple of rehearsals up until Tech Week and redo all of our old memories and kind of revisit our old haunts here, and it's been a lot of fun. So we're going to take like an old backstage and a through stage tour so that we can, go ahead Hans. So that we can show you guys where we used to be, and you guys can compare it to where we are today. So let's mask up and we're going to cut through rehearsal. Now, you three are my little monster friends right now. This is the, once again, Little Theater. We used to have no steps. It was a ramp with neon orange carpet and seating. Every single show was on a stage this size, which, as you guys can see, fits about 20 people comfortably. We now have about 100 to 150 people per show, and it just wouldn't work for us these days. But you guys get kind of a behind the peak scene to rehearsals. So here we go. Watch your step.
Let's do it with music, okay? Remember the roll
One thing
part.
that's new, that has changed, is these days we actually have choreographers teaching actual dancing. This is Lisa, she's our main choreographer, and Quincy is our assistant choreographer this show. We're cutting right in between their rehearsals, so we try not to get danced on.
Roll! Don't be roll! Don't keep it real inside. Woo! You make a face that makes them terrified. You make them scared inside. Your teeth are bare, alright.
Did you make it okay? This is the stage right wing. As you guys can see, it's about 4 feet wide. Not a lot of space back here. So if you guys were in shows in the 90s and you entered from the stage right wing, there's a very good chance that you stood back here like this before you went on stage as quietly as possible, because you're only about 15 feet from the audience. One of the things that Kayla talked about in her video is our stages have gotten a lot bigger, which means our wing space has gotten a lot bigger. As you guys can see, our old wings could hold about 4 music stands and a fan, and not a giant 20-foot boat. So we're really fortunate to graduate to where we are today. Come on back. This was our backstage area. It's one hallway. It used to be carpet, it's now tile. We used to fit the entire cast of every single show back here, reading, playing quietly, maybe running around if you were a little bit more active than others. As you guys can see, we had to be extra quiet. Our backstage now is usually further away from the auditoriums where we perform. Right now we're about 12 feet from where people are performing. So it was extremely important that you guys had to be extra quiet back here, and we did our best to make sure that that was the case. Over here we have our old girls' dressing room. It's empty, you guys can come on in. There used to be 2 or 3 stalls in here. We had every single girl for the entire show changing, doing their hair, doing their makeup, and making sure that they looked ready to perform in here, practicing lines, maybe singing, whatever they had to do to prepare for their role. The tile's exactly the same. That has not gone anywhere in the last 20 some years, and the tile on the walls is also the same as well. The stalls are gone now. There used to be 2 or 3, and the paper towel dispenser is here now instead of that rag that it was like a towel that you pulled and you got a clean one to dry your hands. A lot of girls would get in trouble for blotting their lipstick on there, but it just kind of was what it was. Coming back this way, we have countless, hundreds of photos of different actors hanging out back here, reading, studying their lines probably. This was the boys' bathroom and changing room. I'm not allowed in there. It was against the rules. Had to keep out of that area. And this was the rest of our backstage. This spot right here is probably where we had the most room. This is where we used to gather before every show to do our opening announcements. Our directors would stand right here or over here An elbow actually went through the glass here one time. That was scary. And we'd all gather around and do much of the same pre-show announcements that we do these days. If you guys follow us this way, you can see this wall here is where we used to keep our prop table. Pretty much the same as it is now. It's right next to the stage left wing doors that we're gonna go through in just a minute here. You can walk off stage, set down your prop on the table that was set up to hold all of our things before we had to go on and off and go on with your day. And this hallway right back here was where we stored all of our sets for an entire show. We had backdrops and we had mushrooms and we had rocks and trees and all sorts of stuff that we would throw back here when they were not on stage. They would come directly through the door back here and sit, and this is where they would hang out. We don't have a small enough set these days to fit back here. I can't imagine fitting some of the set pieces and having to wheel them on and off the way we used to, but we're really excited to graduate to bigger storage areas where we don't have a single hallway. So we're gonna sneak back through the stage left wing. As you guys, if you want to poke through here and can see, this one is a little bit wider. You've got maybe 6 or 7 feet, but not a ton. So we had a lot more entering through this way. And here we go back through rehearsal. Come on through.
Okay.
You guys would enter through this way.
5 minutes left. Let's work on
Here.
So part 3. I want us to, but we did a roll pit. That was great. Monster. Survive. Let's go from here. You're gonna help us choose
Whatever
survive.
limits stayed the same and changed at the same time as the booth.
Choose
A lot more
survive.
space back here than there used to be. It
With your
wasn't always filled in, and it wasn't always this nice.
warrior
No computer
face.
system or anything back in the day. It was pretty much lights up, lights down, and now our lighting director Morgan is capable of doing amazing things with the tech booth, and it looks fantastic every time. We're gonna head back out here real quick and show you guys exactly where we started. This part of the backstage area was actually out of limits. Kids were not allowed back here in their costume so that we wouldn't ruin what was about to come in the show. That kind of concludes our tour of the old Farmington High School, currently Brockman Middle School, Little Theater that we are grateful to be back at after a very long time. And we wanted to sign off by saying, if you guys want to leave a comment under this video, you are more than happy to do so. You can either leave a fun memory that you guys had performing or rehearsing or directing here at the Little Theater, or the other option is, right now we're working with our Ocean Ensemble.
Some of us doing massive arms, and some of us
Ocean Ensemble, this show is a character instead of a prop, which we're really excited about. So we want to know what type of props or non-alive objects you guys have played in past CCT shows, because we know that there's a lot out there. So if you guys have ever played a role that wasn't a human or an animal or a bug or something like that, we want to hear about it and get as many memories as we can. Thank you guys for listening and have a great night.
and then we go